All right, welcome back, YouTube, and welcome back to all my cloud scholars out there. So in this second part of the video series, we are going to be talking about how to estimate your cloud cost. So on you see on the screen right now, you have a couple of different tools that we can use to estimate cloud costs. Number one being the total cost of ownership calculator. So they say you should be your first stop if you're curious about how much it would cost to move your existing on-premise infrastructure to the cloud. I run into clients who have infrastructure still on-prem. They may have a few stuff that's in the cloud, most likely 365, but they're looking to probably decommission an old data center that they have locally with another company and move all their workloads to the cloud, and they want to figure out how much cost are they going to save if they go about doing it. Then you have the Azure Migrate, which is a free tool that helps you analyze your on-premise workloads and plan your cloud migration. Then you have the Azure Pricing Calculator. To me, this is probably the most popular one. Helps you estimate the cost of creating new, expanding existing deployments. And in this tool, you're able to explore various configurations of many different Azure services as you identify which SKUs and how much usage you'll need. Then you have the Virtual Machine Selector, which is similar to the Pricing Calculator. It literally brings you to the same page. And then you also have the Azure Hybrid Benefit Saving Calculator. So let's start off with the total cost of ownership calculator and jump over to our web browser. Okay, over at the web browser, we see on the page that when we type in total cost of ownership in Google or whatever browser you want to use, you'll see it right here. And with this total cost of ownership, it says estimate the cost savings you can realize by migrating your workloads to Azure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put in a bunch of dummy data into this sheet right here. So it's brightened it up a little bit. I think the screen was a little dark. So you call it workload 1 if you want to, or, my test workload. Totally up to you, but you can make the edits here. And then over here, you can make your changes, right? So is it Windows, Linux server? Is it a web app? We'll go Windows, Linux. How many cores? If you hover over this I over here, number of cores per processor. And what I can easily do is say, okay, well, we have, let's go 10, right? Now gigs, how many gigs do we have here? We can leave it as 200. Let's say we have 220. All right, and then optimize by, and right here it says specifies whether compute or memory is more important to your workload if an Azure virtual machine does not exactly fit your specifications. So we could say memory or CPU. We'll just go CPU. GPU, we could leave it as K80 or M60. Doesn't really matter. Operating system, we'll leave it as Windows. We'll say it's physical servers versus virtual servers. Data center or standard, we'll say it's data center servers. And then servers, how many servers are we talking about here? Let's say we have, 300 servers, right? Procs per server. And if you come over here, it says number of processors per server, right? They just shortened it up. And we could just say 2. Now workload 2, you can now put some stuff here and you can say this is going to be your Linux machines, right? It's totally up to you, but you have the ability to do so, or I can just cancel out of that one. Now over here, storage, we have to put something down here for storage. So I can say on-prem storage, just giving it any name. Local disk, SAN, fine. SSD, we're not going HDD. I don't think anybody really has that anymore. And you have the ability between terabyte or gigabytes. We're going to say terabytes, and we're going to say we're at 100 terabytes, right? Or let's say we're at 300 terabytes. Fine. Over here, backup, we're going to need 300 because we're at 300, right? So it just makes sense. And archive, or we can just do backup longer, right? So we might just do 1,000. Archive, we can now put that to, 1,500. And then we have IOPS. We could leave that as 4,000 if you want to, and then we could add additional storage. Now, I'm just making some stuff up so you could get our understanding of how to use the tool. So if I go next, trying to get to the end so you can see how the report looks. So adjust assumptions. So they make assumptions and you need to adjust those assumptions, like it says. Windows Server software assurance coverage, SQL Server software assurance coverage, right? You get that coverage enabled for you. Geo-redundant storage, definitely want that. So basically what that does is replicates your data to a secondary region that is that's hundreds of miles away from your primary region. So just in case there's a, some type of electric outage or some type of terrorist attack, that will safeguard you. Virtual machine costs. Enable this for a calculator to not recommend B series virtual machines. So B series is the lowest level of virtual machines. If you hover over here, it says virtual machines are a low cost option for workloads that typically require low to moderate CPU performance. So we're going to keep that off because we need some power in our machines. Price per kilowatt, they're just making some assumptions here. Storage cost, all this stuff. So I'm not really going to go through all of that. But there are more things, like obviously you'll have more details and stuff that you're going to go through. If it's your environment, you would have these details. I'm just making this thing up so you can see how this tool works. So I'll go to next. And then it says, according to your input, it looks like there are no cost savings in this instance. So we got no cost savings in this instance, but let me change this up a little bit. Let me come back here. Let me see if I can, change this to K80. Let me see if I can now drop this to 200. Let me see if I can put this to, 150 here. Trying to see if we can get anything else that populates. So I'm going to go 200. I'm going to go 200 here. And I'm going to go 300 here. And now let's go back. We're going to come back here. And we still got no savings on this one, right? So it says total on-premise over 5 years. It says 16,000. Total Azure cost over 5 years is 21 million. Actually, this is 16 million, excuse me. And this is 21 million over here. Now, depending on what you put in here, right? Now, I've seen how it looks when it does provide you some cost savings, but it's also letting you know, like, hey, we're not seeing any cost savings. You might as well stay on-prem. Right, so it says total on-premise cost over 5 years is 16 million. Total Azure cost over 5 years is 21 million. So you're gonna spend more money going into the cloud with this one. But this is a tool that you can use. So now you might go back to your finance team and say, you know what, this isn't a good idea. Let's keep everything on-prem. I understand we have the headache, but we're also gonna end up spending millions of dollars more on IT equipment. So sometimes, this is a good thing, right? Because now you would have been upset if you did the whole migration, which that can take a year, 2 years, depending on how much systems you have. And then now you would end up spending more money. So that is a total cost calculator. This one I don't really use too much, to be honest with you. But I have seen where it does show where it saves some money. In this case, it's not showing any money being saved. All right, so the next tool that we're going to look at is the Azure Migrate tool. So if we go about Azure Migrate, and if you go over to the documentation, it says, what is Azure Migrate? It provides a simplified migration, modernization, and optimization service for customers who are looking at migrating their on-premise workloads to Azure. So you can literally go into Azure itself, and it will show you exactly how to do that. So if you come over here to Quick Start, and you go to Create a Project, it pretty much walks you through, right? You have to type in Azure Migrate within the Azure portal, and then you say Get Started, select Discover Asset, and Migrate. And then down here, you would have your servers and databases, and you would create a project. So over here, we'd go into Azure Migrate. I already have it populated. And then over here, it's talking about going here, and then you would create your project for Azure Migrate. So that's another tool that you can use so that you can see how that would look in the Azure environment. Now, the next one is the Azure Pricing Calculator. This is one that a lot of people use. It's very popular, and I have recommended it to a lot of different customers. All right, so if you type in Azure Pricing Calculator, you will literally get to it. And here you will be able to choose your different products, right? So they also have this tab here, example scenarios, that you can look at, and they show you how to utilize and add an estimate. You also have save estimates if you have anything here already. It's telling me to log in to view my estimates. But we're going to start off with products. So if I have a new initiative and I need to get some virtual machines, let's say a lot of our users are remote, and then the company's starting to grow. One of the things that happened during COVID was individuals were no longer required to be working at a company and live in the same state because everything was remote. So that expanded the reach of talent for companies. So now instead of you saying, okay, well, I need to get everybody that lives in Texas, now you're opening up that your resources, right? Your job opening is now to people on California, New York, Florida, so on and so forth. But the problem that I ran into a company I work with is, well, are we going to get the machines and ship it to them, or do we just let them use their home computers and provide them a virtual desktop? So in this case, we are looking to do some virtual desktop. So if I am saying, okay, well, I have Office 365 and all that other good stuff, and I have Azure, but I'm only using for Microsoft Azure, I want to do some stuff for virtual machines. So when you click on what you're about to use, it will come and populate at the bottom. So I'll just click on storage accounts and virtual machines, and it says storage accounts added. If I click here, I can get straight down to storage accounts, but I'm gonna scroll back up and I'm gonna get right back to my virtual machines. So it also lets you know that you get $200 credit plus free monthly amounts of popular service for 12 months, including virtual machines. And now you would have to now say, okay, well, if I'm gonna have my virtual machines, I need to know exactly where they're gonna be located. So if we were to say we were hiring folks, we had a group of people on the West Coast, you want the machines close by because you're gonna, they're gonna be remote into those machines, and you want to make sure that they don't have to have a long ping situation happening. So operating system, we're going to keep it as Windows OS only, BizTalk, SQL Server, and we can keep it as standard, or we do basic. We'll do standard. So category, we'll say compute optimized, general purpose. We can leave it as all. Instant series, what series are we going with? I kind of talked a little bit earlier during the total cost calculator, where they was talking about the B series. This is what it was referring to. I can now say, we're going to go with DS version 2. And in DS version 2, what does it come? 1 CPU, 3 gigs of RAM, 7 gigs of temporary storage. We might want a little bit more, so let's go D3. As you can see, if I go to D3, I get more information populating here. So just so you know, you can go here and do the same thing, or you could come over here, and this way you can actually get a better view of what you're trying to get, right, in the D series. So I can say, I need 16 gigs instead of 8 for my users. And virtual machines, we're talking about, okay, let's just build out 20 virtual machines. And how much are we running? We could do it for hours, days, or months. So we could do it for a month, and we're going to test this project out, and we have people working, and it's only on a 3-month project, right, this initiative. Right, so let's just say it's 3 months. All right, monthly. All right, it's not giving me that, but we'll keep it as a month. That's fine. Saving options, you can do pay as you go. This is where you get discounts. So you can say 1 year savings plan, or we could do 3-year savings plan. It's totally up to you. If we did pay as you go, you can see the price has jumped up a lot. If we do 1 year, you can see how the price looks. It's a commitment, and then we have 3 years, and that's how you would save. And then right here, compute payment options. You could say monthly. You could do upfront, right? And then now you see right here, it's $57,000. But if we do monthly, you'll see you're just going to get that payment monthly. Now reservations, you can do a reservation if you want to. You could drop the reservation from 1 year, or you could do it for 3 years, and you can see the pricing is just getting changed around. I'm gonna leave it as pay as you go for now, right? Because we're not really sure what we're doing. And manage this, we do standard HDD. We're gonna do SSD, and then we can do local redundant storage or zone redundant storage. That's gonna bring up our price a little bit. Oh, price not available for that. Fine. And then here, this size, we'll just go to 32 gigs. And amount of disk, I don't know. We'll just go to 20. Just making some stuff up here right now. Storage transactions, we'll leave that the way it is. And then here we have storage accounts where you can make some modifications here as well. So we'll leave East US. We'll leave everything the way it is. General purpose. We'll do a 3-year reserved, actually a year reserved, and we will leave the rest of the stuff the way it is. And in here, we have estimated monthly cost, which is $24,910.43. Now, I do want to let you know that even though the pricing calculator does give us this estimated monthly cost. It is an estimated monthly cost, and I have seen it be wrong a bunch of times. So this is how you would go about using the pricing calculator. And another good thing you can do, you can export this and then you can send it out, or you could do a save as, and you can keep it if you log into the system, and you can go about doing it that way. Okay, so the next one is the virtual machine selector tool. To be honest with you, it's literally the same thing as the Azure pricing calculator. I don't know why they have the virtual machine selector tool, but if you go into Microsoft documentation, it brings you to the same screen as their pricing calculator. After that, you have the Azure Hybrid Benefit Saving Calculator, which helps you estimate the savings of using your existing Windows Server and SQL Server license on Azure. Okay, back over the web browser, if you go in here and you type in Azure Hybrid Savings Calculator, and you go right here, what you can see is the Azure Hybrid Benefit. And if you come down here, you can see the Azure Hybrid Benefit Saving Calculator. And it works similar to what you have in the other pricing calculator. And if you change these numbers, as you can see right here, it's $18,527. But if you change these numbers and you drop it down a little bit, you can see that the numbers are beginning to drop down over there as well. And then you have your different series. To be completely honest with you, I feel like you could get a lot of this stuff from the pricing calculator versus this Azure Hybrid Benefit Savings Calculator. But, you know, Microsoft has all these different tools. This is giving you more about without Azure Hybrid Benefits per month, and then with Azure Hybrid Benefit per month, and how that looks. And if you come over here, you have the SQL Server VMs, you have your Azure SQL Managed Instance, and your Azure SQL Database as well. Okay, so that is pretty much it for this video. You learn a lot about the different free tools that you can use in order for you to be successful with your Azure deployments, or even save costs altogether within Azure if any new work initiatives that you are going through. So in the next video, we are going to continue with some more cost-saving options that we have within the Azure environment, and also look at some alerting within the cost management tool. So as always, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like and subscribe button. Here at Cloud Scholars, my goal is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you, and see you next time.